Okay, so let's get this a try. Okay. Try it again.
If you've ever felt random tightness in your body, a mysterious ache, or like your range of motion has quietly packed its bags and left the building, it might be your fascia. Yes, fascia. A word that sounds like something that belongs in a pasta dish, but is actually deeply invested in your well-being. As my guest Sonia Coram explains, fascia is this incredible network of connective tissue that wraps around everything. Muscles, bones, organs, nerves, basically holding you together while also letting you move through the world with some kind of grace. Sonia has quickly become one of my favorite people. We've only met twice in real life and exchanged a few casual texts, but you know those people whose energy just travels? The kind of energy that feels like a shot of ginger in the back of your throat and wakes you right up? That's Sonia. She's the only licensed cosmetic acupuncturist in the Garden Route and a woman who has reinvented herself more than once, which frankly is the kind of resume I trust. Her approach to health and beauty is one rooted in balance, like actual balance. Through her reset philosophy, Sonia focuses on supporting the whole body so the skin can do what it's meant to do: recover, recalibrate, and glow without being bullied into it. So before we get into all that goodness, we're starting this episode a little differently, with some breathing, and yes, some humming.
Welcome to the Mind of Malika podcast, where we discuss culture, connection, and caring. Today, I am joined with a wonderful human being named Sonia Coram. Did I pronounce that right? Perfect. Oh, amazing. And we are going to open up this conversation with something I've never tried before. And we're going to do an om.
Okay.
Do you want to leave? Okay.
Take your breath in.
Okay.
Let go. And breathe in. Let go. One more breath in. Let go. Breathe in, and then you're gonna say.
I'm out of breath.
Very good.
Okay, so the reason we had to do that is because this is my inaugural podcast. Like, my very first guest.
Thank you. I'm honored.
Thank you. And I was nervous and you were nervous. And guys, if you know me, follow me on Instagram, you know that nothing in my life is ever perfect. Hence why Ajax, the puppy, is here. But he loves you, Sonia. Like, he loves good animals.
Yeah, he's just giving me
So much love. So the reason I asked you in today, like I said, this show is all about connection, culture, and caring. And I got to know you through a practice of self-care.
Yes.
That I have been trying to implement in my life since I turned 48 this year. And in coming to you and, experiencing the service that you offer, which you're going to tell everybody about, I have learned a lot about joy and care. So can you tell everyone what it is that you do and how you got into it?
Okay. So I would say my background has always been in just the body, wellness, holistic care. I first studied nutritional medicine many, many years ago. And I think everything that I've been involved in has just been, dealing with the mind, body, soul as one, finding that equilibrium, finding that joy in everything.
Mm.
And a couple of years ago, I decided to study cosmetic acupuncture. I was getting older, as we all are.
It's a gift.
It's a gift. But also sometimes we want a little joy in our face, sparkle in our face. And I didn't want to go the Botox fillers route for myself. I don't have any judgment for anyone who does do that, but it just didn't feel natural for me to be putting something like that in my body when I feel very, I take a lot of care about the things and I have a lot of things that I do to make sure that my body is kind of running as optimally as possible. And a lot of prevention is better than cure, isn't it?
Makes sense. Yeah. Yeah.
So I decided to start studying cosmetic acupuncture, and I studied in London over about 2 years.
Mm.
And it was just fascinating because, again, you're dealing with the body as a whole.
Yeah.
So the whole system approach makes sure that there are things that change in the face, such as we often have sometimes like heat patches. Sometimes we see someone with a really red chin, and then shows us there's a little bit of liver heat.
Mm-hmm.
So by doing points in the body, that kind of brings that out and make sure that everything is more even toned on the face.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many benefits to cosmetic acupuncture,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes you feel really good.
Yeah.
And then I delved into that a little bit more. I did some face massage, sculpting massage courses as well. And that's where I'm at. And I think my journey is just going to continue with acupuncture and just treating the body as a whole and wanting to make people feel good.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I've tried the face massage. You did the buccal thing one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always a fun.
Don't be alarmed. I'm going to put my fingers in your mouth. I do use gloves though.
You do use gloves. And I love that you're like, just breathe in, and you're like, and maybe we'll have footage of that. But so you are, I think we discussed, you are the only cosmetic acupuncturist in the province.
In this area.
In this area.
So there are acupuncturists that offer facial rejuvenation, which is very similar to what I'm doing. But where I studied, a lot of acupuncturists go to study the cosmetic side because there's a lot more than just this, like specific points, that you're putting into the meridians to create a lift or to balance the body or to balance whatever's showing up in the face, So we learn a lot more of, needling into muscles to release that muscle. So it kind of sounds opposite, but you kind of want to relax the muscles in the face to create an opening. As we get older, our muscles start to constrict in the face a little bit, and that kind of pulls the face down a bit. So when you're needling into the muscles to create a relaxation, it actually opens the base up, So it's those sort of things that we... going to touching my shoe. Okay, it's just having his own time down there. So it's just, bringing all those things in together from the cosmetic side that I think just gives it that other edge,
Yeah.
We learn a lot more about the skin and the dermis and all of those things and how we're going to better those things, creating fibroblasts, which is your collagen and elastin, which I don't think is like such a cool focus on just the acupuncture side.
Yeah. And I'm also curious, like, because we live in Western Cape, I'm, a foreigner who's like moved to South Africa, and I'm loving it here. And just culturally wise, do you find that people push back on the idea of acupuncture and the needling?
So people are definitely afraid of needles. There are certain people that are afraid of needles for sure. The needles are so tiny though. A lot of the time you don't feel them go in.
No.
We'll speak about our experience.
Yes, we will.
But I find a lot of people, if someone is afraid of needles, I don't push them to try it. I don't want anyone to be like, oh, every time you put a needle in when you're changed, it's maybe going to hurt them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they're also tiny. If anyone thinks of like acupuncture that I've spoken to, it's more dry needling that they were thinking of, which is with the physio. That is a much thicker gauge of needle. You're going to feel that go in.
Yeah.
You're not going to feel the ones that I put in. They're really so tiny. So I do find that there is maybe more so in this area, not as open to what I'm offering. Whereas I find if you go further along, nice and there's a lot more of a wellness skin based over there. So a lot more people are open to it and willing to try it. So I find myself busier in those areas.
Yeah.
But I am getting a lot more clientele in George now. So a lot of people that are starting to experiment with it. And I get all sorts, people who are hardcore Botox enthusiasts. To people who don't want to ever do that. And so they would like an alternative.
Yeah. And what kind of alternatives can you offer those people that are just like, I'm not fooling with needles whatsoever?
So I would suggest in the deep reset facial that I do, which is the facial massage and fascia release. I really roll the fascia as you've experienced in the skin because we want that to be kind of loose, you know?
Does tell anybody what fascia is, though.
So fascia it's kind of like the connective tissue. It's covering muscles. It goes throughout your body. You know, the fascia in your jaw is connected to the fascia in your hips. It's connected to the fascia under your feet. There's basically this very intelligent, sort of a connective tissue. We haven't really explored it that much. It's only really been recent, you know, that we're thinking about the fascia. But it's got a memory and it's got an intelligence to it. And when there isn't a lot of movement that's created, it starts to get quite rigid or a little bit tough, you know? So that's why it's so important to move the body, to keep that fascia going, to do things like rolling or massage or whatever else, just to help release that. And so we've got the same thing in our face. And so when we're releasing that fascia, we're also creating a lot more movement. It also opens the face up. You know, and then also with that base massage, there's a lot of lymph drainage, which happens as well with the sculpting. You're releasing a lot of those tighter muscles as the face does open. And also we just have so much tension in our face. No one really realizes until you've had a face massage how much tension you're holding in your face. You know, we use our face a lot. Our muscles are working a lot. A lot of tension is kept in the stitches for people. Yeah. And, you know, whether they grind or they don't, or they're not even aware of it. So with the buccal massage, which is a part of it, I can really release a lot of the tension in there. And there's tension released in the skull and in the neck. You know, this needs to be worked on in one thing. You can't just be just the face, you know? So that's why I often say my facials are a lot more technique heavy as opposed to front heavy, which you might find in a traditional facial, which uses like 18 steps of different products.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I might use 3 products.
Yeah. And they all feel very, really good. They did. And, you know, you've got amazing hands. Sonia has the softest hands. And I remember when the first time I came for a treatment with you, you had put water on my face. I was like, what is that product? It feels so good. You were like, it's warm water.
Yeah.
I really, really do think that it was like your hand connected with the whatever cotton ball or whatever.
Yeah, that just made it feel like so delightful. I was like, I've never felt anything like that. Like, it's just water.
It's the nurturing hand.
It's the nurturing hand.
So can you tell me, what kind of physiological benefits are there to having your facial muscles released, right? Because when we think about stress, we normally think about shoulders and back. You know, having that part of your body worked out, does it do anything else for the rest of your body?
Absolutely. I mean, the basis of my business is reset. So it's resetting the nervous system. There's not much that you can do if your nervous system is, you know, on alert all the time. If you're kind of living in sympathetic, which is fight or flight, your sleep's going to be affected, your gut's going to be affected, your digestion, and that's going to come out on your skin and your face as well.
Yeah.
So when you start to get to the core issues, you get to the root of things, which is what I really like to do in all of the things that I do, whether it's nutrition or whatever else. I don't like to really just treat the symptoms, you know? So if you start calming the nervous system, everything else is going to fall into place. So by doing something like a deep massage, it's releasing oxytocin, which is your feel-good hormone, you know? You feel deeply relaxed, look good. Everyone usually has an amazing sleep that night.
Yes.
And they're just calm.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what you want going forward. And what's amazing about the needles is acupuncture taps into the parasympathetic immediately. And you know that I do some ear needling.
Yeah.
As a part of that, I do it also separately. But auricular acupuncture, I mean, when the nervous system is developed in embryo, this is in utero, sorry. This is where it comes from. So it's called embryonic folding.
Okay.
The vagus nerve starts developing from there. So when we've got microsystems all over our body, you know, on our hands, on our irises, on the ears, on the feet, you know, reflexology, that sort of thing, on the tongue, I do the high reading. But when you go into the ear, and then I do a couple of points in the ear, you're going straight into that parasympathetic. So that starts to relax someone immediately. And then also just the other points I use, the body points and the face. So your nervous system. So your nervous system just goes into rest and digest. So you get a really nice facial glow afterwards. But it starts things happening in the body underneath, and generally everyone says to me, I had a really good sleep that night, and then people who are coming to me consistently will be like, I'm having the best sleep. My digestion is so much better. There were maybe some aches and pains that I had before, or some nerve pain, which I'm not getting anymore. There's just so many benefits. There aren't any downsides, really. I mean, there is a slight chance of a little bit of bruising sometimes. Sometimes, it can't be helped. But it's very few and far between. But the side effects just are so brilliant.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, why wouldn't you get it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do encourage people, especially if they've got like a little bit of a needle fear, just like, just try it. Yeah. If they don't like it, then they don't like it. That's fine, But I will never say to someone that's like openly terrified of needles.
Yeah.
It's something you should do.
Yeah.
I don't think.
It's counterproductive.
Totally.
Yeah.
They'll be in stress mode.
That's completely.
The needles are very whacked up.
Yeah.
The needle effect.
I remember when you put one of the needles in my, I don't know what this area is. Yeah, masseter right here. You were like, do you clench? I was like, yeah, all the time. And yeah, because you're bending my knee.
Yes. And your face landing.
Yeah. But I love something that you said earlier about talking about how we are constantly in fight or flight mode. I don't think that I need to tell you what's going on in the world right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot happening that causes quite a bit of stress. And I want to ask, what gave you this passion, to help people to unlock, this sense of calm? Like, where did that come from in you? Because some people are chaos agents.
Yes. Yeah.
And you're the opposite of one.
I don't like chaos. I mean, so I've always done yoga. And I was really into yoga at a stage. I was very advanced. It did a lot for my life. I did a couple of courses going through difficult periods in my life. Art of Living was an amazing course. I don't know if you've heard about that. It's been around for a very long time, but I was going through the loss of my father, and I went to this course, and it was all about breath work and meditation. And it just grounded me, and I just thought amazing. And so over time and time again, over many, many years, I've had these experiences where breath work and meditation has really helped, in bringing in that calm. And then, I had COVID, I had the Delta strain, and I've never really struggled with anxiety, but I struggled really badly. It hit my nervous system. So I felt like I was getting adrenaline flashes a couple of times a day.
Oh, wow.
And then I'd be exhausted, afterwards.
Yeah.
And just, my heart is just always beating so hard and so fast. And I had to go on to Xanax to
My days.
calm me down.
Yeah.
My doctor is a wonderful functional medicine doctor as well as an MD. So we always go the natural route first.
Yeah.
And then if that can't help, we'll do, the non-natural route. And he was like, it's time for the pills.
Oh.
So okay.
Yeah.
And I obviously didn't want to be taking them. But I needed to calm my system down because I was just having panic attacks like this, and if you've ever had a panic,
It sounds like a heart attack.
feels like a heart attack.
Yeah.
It is awful.
Yeah.
And I was doing all the breath work, and I was doing legs up against the wall and all the tips that I always tell everyone, and nothing was cutting it. And then I started studying this overseas, and part of it was obviously you start to needle yourself. And so I was needling my ear. During the protocol that I use.
Hardcore.
Yeah, you get over it. I'll always be able to needle myself. I'll never be able to wax myself. Needles all the time.
Needles over wax. Oh, that's a self-wax.
And so when I started doing the needles on myself, I just noticed that I wasn't taking any more Xanax, and I hadn't had any anxiety, and I hadn't had any heart flutters, and I didn't have this sitting at the top.
Yeah.
Of my stomach there, where you feel like it's going to go into something, quite soon, like the drop of the hat, whatever. And And I just realized it was needles. And obviously I've been studying this, but I was like, the proof is right there.
Yeah.
And I haven't had a panic attack since. I haven't had, I was a bit anxious about this.
Yeah. That's what you owned.
I'm kidding, the arming the whole way, the whole drive over. But it really does, it works, and I did case studies with a group of women. A few guys joined in as well, now and then. But it was just I wanted to see how I could help people come out of this fight or flight, because we are living in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just this constant that I see with people that come to me. They're struggling, they don't sleep well, they're just, the stress is like unreal.
Yeah.
And we did a 6-week study where they came for 12 sessions. And everyone had remarkable results. The needles, Anna would do the breathwork and meditation with them.
Yeah.
And it was there, So I don't think that anyone should have to live in a stress or anxiety state.
Yes.
Not fair. And life is there's so much beauty in life.
Yeah.
And you are a relaxed person.
Yes.
There's a lot of freedom. I want everyone to have freedom in living. Yeah.
I love that. You are a teacher. And even though you and I have only had few encounters, I feel as though you are somebody who teaches without knowing, because you instruct in your conversation. It's very conversational, but I never feel like you're preaching at me, but I always walk away so informed.
Oh, thank you.
Truly, whenever I speak to you. And one of the coolest things that you have taught me is about sound bowls.
Okay.
So I have my 2 sound bowls here.
Yeah.
I bought this one at a vintage market, and it's probably why it doesn't sound so good. It's probably somebody else's vintage secondhand. Like, this was already like a bit mucked up.
Yeah.
But let's hold one. Do you want the heavy one or the smaller one?
I'll take the heavy one.
No, actually, I want you, because this one is prettier. This makes it.
Okay. Yeah.
So let's I don't know if everybody's familiar with sound bowls. Definitely some of our audience will be, but the bigger the bowl, the difference of frequency. I'm messing this up. You tell us what.
Yeah. So I don't know a huge amount about the sound bowls.
Yeah.
But just anyway, with that sound healing technique, you're invoking different frequencies.
Mm.
So all sound has different frequencies. We already know this.
Mm-hmm.
And we are made up of frequency and energy. So when you're tapping something at a certain frequency and sound, it's going to invoke something of that energy in you.
Mm.
I know that sounds a bit weird.
It's a bit weird, but but it sounds so cool too.
But it's also scientific.
Yeah. Because music, that's why you have music therapy, right? Yeah.
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 So, and also with the tuning forks I use at the end of my treatments, it's a C and a G frequency, which is a healing frequency. And that's just to bring it back to basic. You get a whole lot of, there's a whole lot of different types of tuning forks, some of which I've told you about. You spend a fortune on because I love them so much. But they do something to you,
Yeah, they really do. Okay, so let's give this a try.
Okay.
Try it again. No, but it's so peaceful. And I love that you introduced me to this, because before I go to bed every night, I do my sound bowl. Yeah. And I don't know what it is, but I'm sleeping so much more because I would wake up, I would have restless sleep. What does that?
So absolutely. But you're basically just, you're giving yourself that moment just to kind of collect, it's the same as, I would say it's even the same as praying at night time, I'm not specifically religious at all, but I think anytime we give ourselves a moment to do something for ourselves, and this is very calming and centering, you're going to have a bit of sleep.
Yeah.
Because you're tapping into the rest of digest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It truly, amongst everything that's a good habit to pick. It's a good, thank you.
Spend all the money on all the samples.
All the samples. So the final question I have is about women.
Yeah.
And so this podcast isn't all about women, but I love women. But, you have talked about wanting to use your practice to give women better lives and how to tap into their joy.
Yeah.
How receptive have people been to that? Can they sense your heart? Do you feel like you've completed or you're close to, achieving that particular mission?
Well, absolutely. I mean, I have a really good relationship with most of my clients, especially my repeat clients. There's beautiful friendships that form, and as someone has often said to me, like, as soon as they lie down on the horizontal, they just spill the tea.
Yeah.
What is it about you that makes me want to spill the tea? I'm like, spill the tea. Hi. Safe space,
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, there's a lot that we hold on to. We're very lucky as women in that we are conditioned to share, whereas men don't, unfortunately, have that. It is getting better, but a lot of the time they don't have the community to share in. But I think it's just really important to be able to share. And then in that, the things come out, and if I can help in some way, I do. And I give a lot of tips and tricks and whatever else. But I think just the main goal is I just want everyone to feel calm.
Yeah.
Calm, peaceful world. It helps in everything, And sometimes I do big sister some of my clients. I'm quite, stirring with them. I'm like, you need to be doing this now because your body is showing warning bells. It's like the little warning signal that goes within your car. And these bells are being rung, and you need to take notice now. You need to change some things, and otherwise there's going to be a breakdown, that comes up.
Yeah.
So no one wants that.
Yeah.
So I think also, as women, we have very complex makeup in terms of hormones, and those are so misunderstood. And I think that they're dealt with in a very basic manner in Western medicine. So I do try and get to like the root of things, and hence why I'm also going to continue studying, because I want that to be my focus. Time is women's hormones. Women just have a lot more of a complex thing to deal with the hormones, especially as I am entering perimenopause and then there's menopause. And I just see how women struggle and how, the Western approach to it is just kind of band-aiding and not really getting to the root of the problem. And I see that Chinese medicine has a lot more of addressing the root. It has a very different way of looking at menopause and the hormonal shifts. So that's just what I would love to be able to give, and support. Because I think if you can binge much of your hormone, life is way easier.
So much easier. Yeah. Mona Elsa Howe wrote a book about the menopause.
Yeah.
And in her research, I don't want to misattribute it, but we'll look at this afterwards. But anyway, in certain cultures, they call it the second spring.
Absolutely.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a transformation. And, I think like sometimes we address it in Western culture as like, your days are over.
Yeah.
We've now gone from maiden to crow. And in Chinese medicine, it's just like, it's your next beautiful phase.
Yeah.
And it's actually one of like wisdom and beauty.
Or next big bloom.
Yeah. You're like ethereal.
Yeah.
Like the oracle.
Yeah.
To be honest, you really are so much. You've learned so much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just helping that transformation.
Yeah. I love that. But final questions are really next.
Yeah.
I am curious, you are a conduit for so much joy.
Okay, thank you.
What is bringing you joy? What does joy look like for you?
Nature. Nature is my lifeline. Yeah. So I love hiking. I mean, we are so blessed.
Yes, we are.
Just incredible.
Yes.
So I draw my energy from nature, from hiking in the mountains. I do a lot of hiking and being at the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we gotta get down the beaches we do.
Yeah. And I'm actually I'm not an extrovert at all. I'm actually an introvert. And so I love spending time with people, but I do get quite drained
Yeah.
quite quickly.
Yeah.
So I need to go and recharge, and being in salt water or being in the mountains is my recharge.
That's lovely.
I would like you to share what your experience was of your cosmetic act.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do we have enough on the okay, awesome. Okay. So the cosmetic acupuncture was the needles. Okay. So I am a bit of a daredevil, and I do enjoy adrenaline.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy the feeling of anxiety, but I enjoy adrenaline like pushes every once in a while. And to be honest, I was really terrified. But I said to myself, I was going to do this because I've always been curious about acupuncture. I think it was like Eddie Murphy on The Golden Child. That they stuff all these needles in somebody and they're flicking the needles. So that's what I thought it was going to be. And it was not that at all. You stuck a few needles in my ankles. The ear was the most hectic one.
Yeah.
But then everything else just kind of felt like a release. Except for this part right here where I clench my jaw at night, because I do clench thinking about my day. But it wasn't scary. I was like a bit scared coming in, but you talk me through it.
Okay.
You're like, this is gonna come next. Take a deep breath in, and that really helped.
Yeah.
It's that sharp breath in and then the slow release. And then the needle is in, and you're like, oh, that wasn't bad. And then you've got 20 needles in your face. And then that's not bad. And then you talked about there will be a glow afterwards. I'm like, Sonia, I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, well, but my face was actually glowing a few hours later. And I'm really looking forward to doing it again, and looking forward to telling everybody to give it a try, just to give it a try.
Yeah.
I think that, we don't try enough in our lives. We don't try new things.
Yeah.
It's whatever we've been introduced to at an early stage. That's what we're comfortable with. And that's what we tend to stick with and lean towards. And I just love meeting people like you. I've loved meeting you because you've opened me up something that I can try that, I've been curious about. And you're like a guide. You're like, well, if you're curious, I can show you the way.
Yeah.
Like Yoda.
Kind of like me coming here today.
Exactly. Yes.
I've had comfort.
I don't need a comfort zone. Sonia was like, I don't want to be on a podcast, but I'll come. But you're amazing. You're a natural. And like, we've both tried something new and taught each other something. And that's, I think, the beauty of humanity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the beauty of living in a place like George.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we've got all sorts here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed this.
I love this. Thank you, Ajax, for staying seated.
It's been so sweet.
Yudi, are you happy?
I'm good.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
Oh, good.
Yeah.